to support this channel continues to grow, don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on the bell. About the meaning of life. Life gives many moments, be it good or bad. The journey of life may not get easier with age. Life will make life more meaningful, and life can also be an encouragement when you are down. Nelson Mandela said, if you talk to a man in a language he understands, that goes to his head. If you talk to him in his language, that goes to his heart. Stephen Covey said there are three constants in life: change, choice and principles. Winston Churchill said, we make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give. John F. Kennedy said, once you say you're going to settle for second, that's what happens to you in life. Vince Lombardi said, the quality of a person's life is in direct proportion to their commitment to excellence, regardless of their chosen field of endeavor. Rumi said, patience with small details makes perfect a large work, like the universe, and never regrets being a good person to the wrong people. Your behavior says everything about you, and their behavior says enough about them. Lou Holtz said, life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you respond to it. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, all life is an experiment. The more experiments you make, the better. Les Brown said, life takes on meaning when you become motivated, set goals and charge after them in an unstoppable manner, and success and failure are both part of life. Both are not permanent. Oprah Winfrey said, the biggest adventure you can take is to live the life of your dreams. Aristotle said, the ultimate value of life depends upon awareness and the power of contemplation rather than upon mere survival, and don't live life with regrets and make every minute count, because everything happens for a reason. William Shakespeare said, some are born great, some achieve greatness, and some have greatness thrust upon them, and your life isn't yours if you always care what others think. George Adair said, everything you've ever wanted is on the other side of fear. C.S. Lewis said, nothing that you have not given away will ever be really yours. Lao Tzu said, life is a series of natural and spontaneous changes. Don't resist them, that only creates sorrow. Let reality be reality. Let things flow naturally forward in whatever way they like. John Lennon said, life is what happens when you're busy making other plans. Franklin D. Roosevelt said, when you reach the end of your rope, tie a knot in it and hang on. Vivian Komori said, life is not about how fast you run or how high you climb, but how well you bounce. George Bernard Shaw said, life isn't about finding yourself. Life is about creating yourself. Dalai Lama said, take into account that great love and great achievements involve great risk. John D. Rockefeller said, singleness of purpose is one of the chief essentials for success in life, no matter what may be one's aim. William James said, believe that life is worth living, and your belief will help create the fact. Henry Ford said, anyone who stops learning is old, whether at 20 or 80. Anyone who keeps learning stays young. The greatest thing in life is to keep your mind young. Oscar Wilde said, life is never fair, and perhaps it is a good thing for most of us that it is not. Tony Robbins said, the only impossible journey is the one you never begin. Mae West said, you only live once, but if you do it right, once is enough. Soren Kierkegaard said, life is not a problem to be solved, but a reality to be experienced. Mark Twain said, the two most important days in your life are the day you are born and the day you find out why. Wayne Dyer said, what we think determines what happens to us, so if we want to change our lives, we need to stretch our minds. Edmund Burke said, you can never plan the future by the past. Franklin D. Roosevelt said, there are many ways of going forward, but only one way of standing still. Matt Cameron said, live life to the fullest, and focus on the positive. Martin Luther King Jr. said, life's most persistent and pressing question is, what do you do for other people? Maya Angelou said you will face many defeats in life, but never let yourself be defeated. Albert Einstein said only a life lived for others is a life worthwhile. Jim Rohn said if you don't design your own life plan, chances are you'll fall into someone else's plan. And guess what they have planned for you? Not much. Helen Keller said life is a daring adventure or nothing at all. Steve Jobs said your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Mark Cooper said life has no remote, get up and change it yourself. Winston Churchill said success is walking from failure to failure with no loss of enthusiasm. Paulo Coelho said if you're brave enough to say goodbye, life will reward you with a new hello, and life would be tragic if it weren't funny. Elbert Hubbard said don't take life too seriously. You'll never get out of it alive. Dalai Lama said our prime purpose in this life is to help others. And if you can't help them, at least don't hurt them. D.H. Lawrence said life is ours to be spent, not to be saved. Bob Marley said love the life you live the life you love. James M. Barrie said life is a long lesson in humility. Franklin D. Roosevelt said the only limit to our realization of tomorrow will be our doubts of today. Charles Dickens said life is made of so many parts put together. Billy Graham said each life is made up of mistakes and learning, waiting and growing, practicing patience and being persistent. Voltaire said God gave us the gift of life, it is up to us to give ourselves the gift of living well. Confucius said life is really simple, but we insist on making it complicated. Martin Luther King Jr. said life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? John F. Kennedy said change is the law of life, and those who look only to the past or present are certain to miss the future. Thomas A. Edison said many of life's failures are people who did not realize how close they were to success when they gave up. Oprah Winfrey said if you look at what you have in life, you'll always have more. If you look at what you don't have in life, you'll never have enough. Eleanor Roosevelt said nobody can make you feel inferior without our permission.